There's something special about stepping into a completely new world. Seeing the grass for the first time, the trees around you, hearing a cow or sheep grazing, hearing the wind whistling between the blades of grass. I can still remember the feeling of that first breeze ruffling through my feathers. Everything you see, hear, feel, everything around you, and everything you have yet to discover. It is all new. And there's something special about that first feeling. Feelings of excitement. Excitement, but also fear. Fear of the unknown? Because logically, you know you should break a tree, get some wood, move up from wooden tools to stone, then maybe iron. But other than that, you don't know what to do. You step foot into this seemingly infinite world that leaves you with more choices than you ever thought you would have. You step foot into this unknown land that you know next to nothing about. You step foot into this new world that you are now the ruler of. And that can be terrifying. The idea that anything is possible. You could build a small little house, or a castle, or nothing at all. You could travel and never settle down. That's what I did for a while. Saw different biomes, landscapes I'd only dreamed about. But little cabins in some villages I built, and others I lived in castles. I lived through warm summer nights talking, singing, and sharing stories by the campfires. I lived through bitter winter nights, some alone, and some made warmer through company. I saw the seasons change, spring full of flowers, bees happily buzzing, the promise of winter ahead, autumn full of color, leaves changing, falling, friendships strengthened by the increasing cold. Sometimes I spent many terrifying nights huddled in some surface cave, hearing the sounds of monsters just outside my walls. I didn't like the caves that much. Sometimes I traveled the seas, eagerly looking for new land, only to be momentarily distracted by something on the seafloor. I dived so far down that as I came up, I worried I would drown, eagerly gasping, grasping for air as I surfaced, laughing in the thrill of what I had just done. Sometimes, instead of diving down, I climbed up mountains taller than the clouds. For whatever reason, each step I took made me feel more free. And although it should have been challenging, each step felt lighter, like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I was free up in those clouds, away from prying eyes, away from expectations others had of me, away from everyday life. Up in those clouds, I learned who I was. Up in those clouds, I learned I could spread my wings. Up in those clouds, I learned to fly. And I flew across the lands I had traveled before. I flew so far and wide I was surprised I never made it back to where I had started. Never saw the exit to those caves. I flew and flew until I was ready to go back into the caves. I fought monsters, standing my ground instead of running or hiding in a cave. I faced my fears, seeing the darkness and continuing on. I gathered materials and became stronger and more powerful. I overcame my fears. And then, when I was done, I simply left the cave and soared back to the sky. And I did it all again. So yeah, I would say that there is something special about stepping into a completely new world. Growing, changing, evolving as you get to know it.